Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope you're having a good morning. Ah, they'll have a scarf today because it's a little warmer. It's around almost 70 degrees, it's around 68. A hat is good enough for that. Some good coffee to get my morning started. Hope you have something as well. Something good, get your routine going so you can get your day started. Cup of coffee does a really good job for me. Luna likes to bounce a few balls. She only bounces like she usually has me throw her twice the very first time, but then she warms up during the day. And after a while, she's had me throw quite a few. And she expects me, come here, she expects me to grab the ball in midair when she drops it. And I ain't there yet. I need a lot more coffee. I want to have a talk a little bit about something I really don't want to talk about, but I'm not an author, and I'm not a uh, I've never played in a play, you know, other than those little ones you got everybody plays in their elementary school and stuff like that. But in high school, I was never part of the uh, that tale of hers knocks over all kinds of stuff. I was never in the drama club or anything like that. So and my expertise is more along the lines of engineering, mathematics, and stuff like that. So, and my fascination has been more in economics and money and things of that nature. All that said, there's a lot of talk about Hollywood and Netflix and Hulu and streaming and stuff like that about what entertainment should be doing or saying or doing, saying or doing or doing and saying. So spend a little time on what I like in a show, TV, and movie. And I'm gonna bring them up a little bit because there's a lot more you can get done in a TV show than you can in a movie. And I'm broad brushing it. The reason when I say broad brushing it, one of the things you have to keep in mind is that making a movie for a documentary is uh, one thing. Making a movie to scare you is another thing. They have very different things they should convey to you when they have your attention. So what I'm talking about is more like comedy, drama, uh, romantic comedies, mysteries, um, more general cinema. So when I go to a show, there are three don't know if three is right, Luna. When I start talking, there might be more than the three. I know what I wanted to say, in case you're wondering if, oh God, he's going to ramble again. Know specifically what I want to say. So let's start off with the show. Whoa, Luna, come on. Your butt's a little too big to be trying to share the same space with me. Let's talk about some movies that are personal to me, ones that make me feel real good. I am going to talk about two that my, oh no, I'm going to talk about three movies that me and my children watched that meant a lot to me. And they did wonderful things with my children. Then I will talk, and I'll finish this up with the movie that my father and I went to see that meant the most to me. For my kids, the three movies I remember the most was one, I mentioned this before. I took uh, my daughter, Jalen, to see Mulan. And at the end of Mulan, we were both crying. And it was a good cry. That movie brought me in. I cared about Mulan. I cared about her struggles, how hard it was for her to do. You know, she was on the edge doing so many wonderful things. And the songs were good, the music was good. It pulled me in as a squirrel. My puppy dog sees a squirrel. So it did a great job. So that's one of the things that I really love about movies is it that Mulan made me think of my daughter. And Mulan evolved in the movie. She started off as a fumbling, kind of bumbling young lady, not really comfortable with what they were being asked, what was being asked of her. But she was still strong enough to realize when I'm not, you get it. You get it. Get your ball. Can you not get your ball? Oh my God. Get on there and get it. Uh, so Mulan evolved as well as I loved her. She was so, she cared so much about her father and her people and she did things that were hard, challenging, but she used a brain. It's so much about it. The other one that my kids saw that with me that I enjoyed watching with them was Cinderella Man. Cinderella Man's about a boxer, and the boxer starts off by boxing. He's not too bad at it, but after a while, he kind of peaks out, as a lot of boxers do, and now he's got life after boxing. But he's also struggling with one of the worst economic times in American history, the Great Depression, and he's got a family to support, and he has to refocus his life from his ambitions and his goals and focus back on what it is he needs to do for his children and his wife in order to make their lives better. I like that a lot. I like it because a little bit of, it's a little bit of uh, the selflessness that he showed for his family. I like that trait characteristic. Again, he evolved during the movie. I also like the fact that my kids got to see a period of time when we didn't have as much, and their grandparents came from that time. A lot, it's hard for young people. They'll talk about why is grandma and grandpa that way? Why are they so afraid of this, or why don't they do this? And they don't see, they don't have a good way of going back and seeing what they were growing up with. What did they deal with when they were growing up? So it was a really good movie for that as well. So it had two things. Love the growth for my kids. I love the fact that they could see what their grandma and grandpa were going through. The next movie is God Grew Tired of Us. God Grew Tired of Us was a movie about the Southern uh, Sudan boys who were on the run from the genocide that was going on in the wars back then. Of course, the documentary was very much a harsh of the reality of the what was going through, but there was a lot of uplifting stuff, and we got to see some wonderful kids evolve. And I do mean evolve. They went from being on the run, little children, to being men of everyone would be proud to have as a child. And on top of that, they also went from there to here. So my kids got to see that difference between the two of them. And how they developed over time. So those are my three movies. So can you guys guess what's my number one thing that I like to see in a show? Yes, I like to see somebody evolve. I like to see somebody get better at something. I like to see I like to cheer for somebody. And one of the key things in that is the evolve. For some reason, people don't do evolve anymore. For some reason, they have these super people. They start off super and they end super. Okay. Why do I want to watch these people? Because they're Superman, because they're Iron Man. I've seen the Superman shows, and I've seen the good Iron Man shows too. Guess what? They evolve the characters. They don't start off perfect. They don't start off knowing everything. They get better as the movie goes on. They evolve. You don't have to make movies for me. You don't have to make TV shows for me. But if you want me to go watch a TV show and enjoy it, evolve the character. The character has to be better, either emotionally or their work ethic, uh, their practices, their uh, they go get rid of bad habits. They were selfish before, now they're more caring about others. It needs to have evolved. But Glenn, why do you have to do that if it's a comedy? Why not? Why not? A lot of the great comedies were, you know, they have people involved in them too. I saw John Cena in a movie, I think it's called Vacation, where he played a kind of a goofus couple that interacted with another couple that were there on their honeymoon. And in the movie, they were all four of the individuals were better. They had developed a friendship. They had their outlooks had changed. They're he was a little more mature, and the other people were a little bit more free loving of life and stuff like that, loosening up, enjoying themselves a little more. It's that kind of evolution can be in anything, and I enjoy that. What can I say? Okay, so that's my number one thing. I like something to evolve. What do you like besides that? Good dialogue, pure and simple. I like to listen to people that are have some good dialogue. I'm a fan of Lord of the Rings, not because of the fact that there was a threat of killing people, not because there were dragons, not because it was an epic struggle between big households, blah blah blah, politics. I loved the dialogue. I love the snarkiness of some of the key characters, the wit, the whoa, good job, Luna. Uh, Luna just popped my thing off to the side here. Love the dialogue, love the good writing. Can't get good writing on everything nowadays. So let's scoot over a little bit. It's kind of dirty here. She uses this to walk back and forth. So I love the interesting twists. There's lots of things other than those two that I enjoy. Knives Out had it was a great mystery, interesting twists to it. Again, evolving the main character. She was quite cool. Um, I don't have to have people I hate that are bad people, but there's nothing wrong with that. Uh, there are bad people in this world. The There are so many good movies out there, so many well done shows. I don't see them much anymore. It's kind of sad. A lot of the shows that are coming out of Hollywood feel very, uh, it don't feel like a lot of effort was involved. It don't feel like there was a lot of passion was in the project. But you're like, Glenn, have you not seen the graphics on this and the costumes on that? That's not what I'm saying. There are areas of Hollywood that are going really well. There are areas that are being done really well. But guess what, guys? If you're going to represent the world in your movie and your show, you can't just do those two things well and then not worry about the script, not have a good plot, not a good result, not have something people can care about. You can't just see somebody show up with some badass karate skills and have them beat up people for 90 minutes in the movie. And then, boom, expect everybody to just show up for that. Happens sometimes. You can have really cool skills and have people do that, but it's not most of the time, no, not going to happen. Got to have more than that. So I'm going to close off by saying, what was the one my father and I saw that I remember the most? And you're going to think it's funny that the why I remember it the most. So my father took me to see a movie with George C. Scott where he played the General Patton. When he played the General Patton, my dad didn't like Patton before the movie. He thought the movie was fine. He liked the movie, but he never was a fan of Patton. And he was in World War II. He was in the 101st Airborne Division. Now, he didn't have negative feelings about Patton. He just didn't high him and hold him in high esteem like some people did. I saw the movie. I was like, oh, that's cool. That's that. What I remember the most was what my dad said to me about the cursing in the movie. He said, son, there was cursing in the movie, and your dad's okay with that. Why? Because it was appropriate to what was going on. It wasn't cursing added to have cursing in the movie. It was done because that was what was actually occurring. That was the key. That's another problem I have with some movies. They curse to curse, or they do things that are inappropriate to be inappropriate. Not because they're adding to the story, just to get a reaction out of you, just to get some kind of, uh. No, do it if it's necessary. It's not necessary. Do it if it's appropriate. Don't do it just to get an emotion. Stop it. That's a big problem too. All right. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Like I said, I wasn't a big fan of talking about this, but hey, what can I say? Sometimes you talk about things you don't want to talk about just to say it's life. I'll go on. Anyways, have a good day. You guys have an enjoyable morning. Love y'all.